Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Matt Richardson. I'm a contributing editor. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Engadget Expand. My name is Matt Richardson. I'm a contributing editor for Make magazine. I'm also the co-author of Getting Started with Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is the $35 mini computer that's really popular right now. How many here already know what Raspberry Pi is already about? Anyone here not know? That's what's amazing about Raspberry Pi, is that so many people already know about it. It's out there. It's really cool. At Make, we absolutely love Raspberry Pi because not only is it a really cheap computer that you can do a lot of really cool stuff with, but also it's hackable and you know, you can build and create with it. So it's not just a computer that you can hook a keyboard, monitor, and mouse up to, but you can hook up your hardware to. And that's what we are here doing today, and I'm going to explain what we're going to do. So what we have is the Raspberry Pi Make-Off, okay? We have two teams, and the teams are going to be creating a Raspberry Pi device or project or thing, component, whatever it can be anything they want, and they're going to use the Raspberry Pi as a central part of their project. The winner is going to get their project featured in Make magazine, and they're going to go home with some cool Raspberry Pi stuff as well. Now you're wondering, how do you judge a Raspberry Pi contest? There's a few different things, a few different judging criteria that we're going to go off of. First of all, there's the concept. How good is the concept that the team came up with? Is it creative? Is it interesting? Is it something people are, if they see it in the table of contents of Make magazine and they see the title of it, are they going to be interested in it? Does it have this idea that, does it show what you know, Raspberry Pi does really nicely? Does it use the Raspberry Pi really well? Those are really important things. So the concept is one of the most important things when it comes to what these teams are doing. Execution is also important. These teams have to create a working prototype of their project here today at Engadget Expand, here today and tomorrow. So we're going to be judging them. Does it work? And how well does it work? Now, if they can't get it totally working, that's all right, but you know, we would love to see it working as close as possible as we can. The next thing we're going to be judging on is ambitiousness. How ambitious is the project? Because you could make a pretty simple project and you know that you'd be done in 5 minutes, but we want something that actually seems a bit interesting and a little bit tough. So we will be taking into account how much you wanted to bite off when you started your project. The next criteria by which we'll be judging is creative use of ingredients. So we want to see how you guys use what ingredients that we have put out there in your project. And not only do you have access to the ingredients that we've provided, but you have access to anything here at Engadget Expand. So if you encounter someone that has something neat and they're willing to give it up for your project, you're okay to do that. There are a lot of 3D printers around here. Maybe you want to recruit a 3D printer to start printing the part you need. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. We have an entire pantry available to you guys out behind the stage over here. Inside the pantry, there are, of course, Raspberry Pis. We've got stepper motors. We've got some parts from RC cars. We've got, you know, all kinds of things. There's a Raspberry Pi camera back there, prototyping tools, soldering irons, solder, all the kinds of cool electronic components so that you guys can make whatever you want. And as I said, of course, you can also go out anywhere on the show floor and take whatever you need for your project. So I want to introduce to you guys the teams that we have today. First of all, we've got the Sea Slugs. Come on up, guys. We have John, Carlin, and Eric. Great, welcome. So this is Eric, John, and Carlin. Thanks for being here. I'm going to talk to each of these guys about what they plan to do and what your experience with the Raspberry Pi is. So Eric, why did you enter this contest?
I love computers. I think I have pretty good ideas, and I can't wait to get over there.
And what kind of Raspberry Pi experience do you have?
Not really any.
So you're here to learn?
I'm here to learn.
Great. That's great. All right, I'm going to move over here to John.
Yep.
John, you have some experience with robotics and so on. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, competing in the first robotics. I'm a coach for a first robotics team with Landroids. and we got like grades too. And we've done, it's a high school robotics team, and we did okay for ourselves.
Now, I saw you guys before kind of huddling a little bit and talking about what you guys were planning on doing. Do you have an idea yet of what you're going to do with Raspberry Pi?
Not yet, not until we figure out what we have.
Okay, great. And Carlin, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done with Raspberry Pi?
Mainly, I'm just here to learn. I've been watching him when he's been working on his projects, and I've just been doing robotics, so this should be interesting.
Great. All right, thanks to the Sea Slugs for being here at Engadget Expand, and thanks for being part of our Raspberry Pi Make-Off. The next team we have is Team Astronaut Mike Dexter. Come on up, guys. This is Danny and Say. The third team member, Andrew, is on his way here right now. All right, now Danny, do you have a strategy in mind already for this contest?
We have a couple ideas that we're playing with in our head, but it depends on what we see in the pantry and what we can find around, you know.
And what's your experience with Raspberry Pi? Have you already been tinkering with it?
Yeah, I have a couple of them at our apartment that I'm trying to use for home automation type stuff and security systems, things of that sort. Not everything's completely working at this point, but constant work in progress.
That's great. Okay, and Say, what about you? What's your Raspberry Pi experience like?
Him.
Oh.
No, I don't really do much programming myself. I'm more on the creative side when it comes to like housing it or just coming up with projects. I usually send him the projects of like, hey, look what a Raspberry Pi can do. We can do this. And then he actually takes the brains and makes it happen.
She inspires me.
Okay, so there's a little bit of inspiration and execution going on here, right? What kind of Raspberry Pi projects are the ones that are inspiring to you? What do you think is creative when it comes to use of the Raspberry Pi?
I saw one today that was like online that I was looking at, I guess last night, was like they hooked up like a servo to it, made it a little robot that would go around and shoot, have the camera and so they can find people and then they shoot little darts at them like Nerf darts. So I thought that was pretty creative.
Okay, great, absolutely. And you guys, have you've talked a little bit about what you think you're going to do at all?
We have some ideas. I'm not sure if we want to give it all away because we're not sure what's going to work.
Okay, they have some ideas, but they're not quite sure. They don't want to give it away yet. So I guess what we ought to do is go back to the Raspberry Pi kitchen and start getting to work. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
Great, let's go.